to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe in the studios of our flagship stations, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. In addition, today, as always, we're also on Birmingham Area Municipal Access and City Cable 15 of Southfield. You can find those channels all on Comcast, Channel 15, and AT&T, Channel 99. Find us on Channel 10 in both Lake Orion, Orion Township, and Waterford on Orion Neighborhood Television and the media network of Waterford, live and live to tape. Over there in Lake Orion in the Orion Township area, you'll find us at 1 o'clock p.m. in the afternoons and 1 o'clock in the morning for you late night birds out there like to watch your news. Beginning the next day at 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 in the afternoon. Either way you like it, you'll find us there at 1 o'clock p.m. and a.m., and you'll find us throughout the day for replays on the media network of Waterford. Join us also on the radio in Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township, and Troy on 88.1 WBFH, The Biff, a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District. And find us online on our Facebook pages, facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15 and facebook.com/Lakes FM. Also on our website, civiccentertv.com. Click on our Watch Live link. That's going to be in 2 different places depending on where you're looking at us. If you're looking at us on your computer web browser, it's going to be right there at the top of the page. It'll be the link that says Watch Live. Second from the right on your homepage, click on that. You'll be able to watch live right there on the homepage of our website, or right there on the Watch Live page as well. On your mobile phone, if you're viewing us on your web browser, it's going to be in the left margin of your screen. You'll click to bring out the drop-down menu, and it will be at the second from the bottom of that list. Click on Watch Live, and once again, you'll be able to click our live player, play right through it, and watch us live from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, or all of our other regular programming here on Civic Center TV, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including other original programming such as The Splash every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 10 a.m., as well as municipal meeting coverage in West Bloomfield, Kegel Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and from the West Bloomfield School District. You can also view us online on My Michigan TV or My, on a number of different places. One, on your smart TV, on your smartphone as well, on the My Michigan TV app, and on mymytv.com. That is mymytv.com, where you can find more information about all the places you can download the free MyTV app, watch the Megacast live and other original programming such as Steve Leto live on their channel, and find other original and imported content from all across the state of Michigan, all about the state of Michigan, from My Michigan TV or My. All of those stations linked on our website, civiccentertv.com. By clicking on our Megacast page, you'll be able to access all those links, find out more about all of our partnering TV, radio, and web outlets, and find all of our shows and each individual interview on demand on our website at civiccentertv.com. Then, right next door to that, more important than ever, is our Civic Center TV coronavirus page, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. There we have direct links to resources on COVID-19 locally here in Oakland County, where we originate our broadcast from the Oakland County Health Division, at the state level from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and at the federal level from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Just click on any one of those links. You can find a lot of information on COVID-19 that you need to know, including the spread of COVID-19 here in the state of Michigan and across the U.S., information that's coming in from around the world about what may be coming with the COVID-19 pandemic, as we're beginning to hear more and more about the Omicron variant of COVID-19, and then other resources that will lead you to accurate, factual information that can help you make informed decisions about mask wearing and other precautionary tactics that you may be able to employ both in your workplace, at home, and as you're visiting with family, friends, and others in the community, as well as resources on where you can get vaccinated against COVID-19, whether it's your initial shot, your second shot of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, a booster shot, or immunizations for your children as well. So whether you are 5 to 11 years old, you have a child 5 to 11 years old that needs to get vaccinated, you need to get your shot, or you want to learn the difference between immunization and vaccination because you're a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers and not well informed, you can go to our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, and find all of that information, as well as articles from around the state of Michigan, however, that we link to each and every day. day. We have direct links to those different resources from each of these articles, so you can read them in full. We summarize them on our website, but you can read them in full directly from the source as well while you're over there. Subscribe to these great publications and support local journalism all across the state of Michigan. Our top headline today in the state of Michigan from Bridge, Michigan: 85% of Michigan inpatient and ICU beds are full, and some patients are being turned away from hospitals. More than 85% of intensive care unit beds and hospital inpatient beds are full, a dangerous and potentially deadly level of overcrowding as the state's health system is strained by yet another surge of COVID-19 cases. At least 8 hospitals are 100% full, according to the latest data from the state. West Michigan's largest system, Spectrum Health, reached a system record number of patients in both its hospitals and ICUs as statewide hospitalization levels continue to climb. Dr. Daryl Elmoki, Spectrum's president, stood at his computer Friday afternoon in his Grand Rapids office next to a row of windows looking out on a cold, gray day. Normally, Spectrum would take up to 50 transfer patients each day from smaller hospitals or rural emergency rooms, he said. But now, it simply can't. Quote, "We'll get calls saying that we are the 15th hospital they've called. And can we help? And often right now the answer is no," he said. Dr. Elmoki continued, "Because we have to take care of those people in front of us before we can take care of people that are coming in from a distance, and that's really heartbreaking, and it's hard," and closed quote. St. Joseph Mercy Hospital in Ann Arbor and St. Joseph Mercy Livingston Hospital are both also at 100% capacity, per a spokesperson on Friday who confirmed that number. Hospitals say they're also being hit by waves of non-COVID patients whose conditions have worsened over months of delayed care during the pandemic. Emergency room waits are getting longer, ambulances are overwhelmed by demand, and patients are being sent greater distances to find a hospital that can take them. Across the state, more than 4,000 adults and 58 children are hospitalized or confirmed with confirmed or suspected COVID-19 cases. And as of Wednesday, the most recent state data available, 2,651 of the state's 3,114 ICU beds are occupied, a staggering number in this article from Bridge, Michigan. My apologies. Examining a year of hospital bed records ending in July of last year, researchers predicted that once the nation's ICU beds were at 75% capacity, an estimated additional 12,000 excess deaths would occur 2 weeks later. And, quote, "As hospitals exceed 100% ICU capacity, 80,000 excess deaths would be expected 2 weeks later," the authors of that research predicted. Those national models are hard to drill down to a state level. Neither the MDHHS or the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, an industry group, track deaths linked to hospital overcrowding. As previously reported, the U.S. Department of Defense has agreed to a request from Governor Gretchen Whitmer's administration for federal medical teams, as I try to combine words on that, federal medical teams to assist Spectrum Health in Grand Rapids and Beaumont Hospital in Dearborn. Meanwhile, health leaders continue to plead with the public, please get vaccinated and follow basic safety protocols such as wearing masks and social distancing. That full article from Bridge, Michigan, on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, so you can learn more about just how heavily the ICU beds and emergency rooms being filled up, and inpatient beds being filled up at our hospitals across the state of Michigan are affecting care at our hospital systems, large and small, because as was listed in that article, as Dr. Daryl Elmoki from Spectrum Health on the west side of the state had said, as those larger hospital systems like Spectrum Health in Grand Rapids, like Beaumont or Henry Ford or St. Joseph Mercy here in southeastern Michigan, as those start to fill up, those rural hospitals, those smaller hospital systems that either don't have the capacity to deal with the patients in their local area that are coming in, or don't have the expertise or the systems in place to properly deal with each patient's medical situation, and they need to transfer those patients to another hospital, to a larger system. As those beds are filling up, hospital ICU beds, inpatient beds are filling up with COVID-19 patients or overflow patients because so many COVID patients are coming in that's pushing other patients into different areas of the hospital. They get so congested, they can't take those other patients in. Now all of a sudden, our rural hospitals, our smaller hospital systems, they're overwhelmed to a capacity they frankly cannot handle. And then the larger health systems that are typically there as support and overflow for those smaller hospitals, they're also in a similar situation. Now they have to make those triage decisions. They have to pick and choose the most important cases of all of them, and that becomes a huge moral dilemma and ethical dilemma and medical dilemma on top of all of that. All the more reason why it's so important, and these health officials continue to plead with the public to follow those guidelines we've been hearing for 2 years. Social distance, wear your masks. If you're able to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you're eligible for a booster shot, they highly encourage you to get a booster shot. All of these things that they know from their research, from their expertise, will help to mitigate this pandemic as we have more news coming in from across the world. Of course, South Africa, in South Africa, the Omicron variant had popped up and made news over the weekend, and now both Canada and Australia are reporting cases of Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus. And Dr. Fauci says the new variant might, quote, evade immune protection, and closed quote. This is a COVID-19 update from the Associated Press via the Detroit Free Press. The Omicron mutation of the coronavirus, quote unquote, strongly suggests the coronavirus strongly suggests it is easily transmitted and might elude immunity protections gained by previous infections and even vaccinations, said Dr. Anthony Fauci on Sunday. Quote, it is not necessarily that that's going to happen, but it's a strong indication that we really need to be prepared for that, said Fauci on Meet the Press, adding that Omicron, quote, just kind of exploded, and closed quote, in South Africa. Dr. Fauci, President Biden's chief medical advisor, lauded the efforts of the South African public health officials who he said were completely transparent from the beginning. U.S. officials were getting real-time information last week and continue to receive updates, he said on that matter. Francis Collins, director of the National Institute of Health, told Fox News on Sunday that it will take 2 or 3 weeks to tell whether antibodies from vaccines or previous infections will be effective against the Omicron variant. We expect that most likely the current vaccines will be sufficient to provide protection, said Collins, and especially the boosters will give the additional layer of protection, and closed quote. The World Health Organization is lobbying against flight bans targeting South Africa despite the pop-up of the Omicron mutation. The World Health Organization on Sunday urged countries around the world not to impose flight bans on southern African nations because of concerns over the new variant. The World Health Organization's regional director for Africa called on countries to follow science and international health regulations. The U.S. plans to ban travel from South Africa and 7 other southern African countries beginning today. Continuing on in this article from the Associated Press via the Detroit Free Press, doctors are saying, health experts are saying, it is too soon to know the details of the Omicron variant. A doctor and a private practitioner and chair of the South African Medical Association, who was one of the first doctors in South Africa to detect the new variant, told Reuters that the symptoms were, quote, very mild and could be treated at home. However, initial reported infections were among university students, younger individuals who tend to have relatively mild symptoms, according to the World Health Organization. In Canada and Australia, reported cases of the Omicron variant are also popping up. 2 cases of Omicron were detected in Canada after travelers returned from Nigeria, the Ontario government reported on Sunday. The Netherlands confirmed 13 cases of the Omicron variant on Sunday, and Australia found 2 as the countries half a world apart became the latest to detect it in travelers arriving from South Africa. In New York, Governor Kathy Hochul has declared a state of emergency amid a surge of COVID-19 cases and the looming threat of the Omicron variant. The move by Hochul comes as hospitals are warning again of being overrun with COVID-19 patients as the state's positivity rate in New York hit 3.8% on Thursday, the highest since mid-April. Governor Hochul said the Omicron variant that has stoked fears of a new spread across the globe has yet to be found in New York or anywhere else in the U.S., but warned it is very likely to arrive. By declaring a state of emergency, the state health department will be allowed to limit non-essential, non-urgent procedures for hospitals or systems, quote, with limited capacity to provide to protect access to critical healthcare services, and closed quote. That full article from the Associated Press via the Detroit Free Press on our website at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. Lastly, firefighters and environmental advocates are pushing for a safer foam flame retardant. This is coming from the Capitol News Service via the Detroit News. Michigan has disposed of more than 50,000 gallons of potentially harmful firefighting foam since 2019, and both firefighters and environmental advocates say that is more. Say that isn't enough. The foam targeted for removal contains PFAS, an abbreviation for a group of manufactured chemicals that has been used since the 1950s, but scientists now link those to harmful effects on people and the environment. Because of this, the state is working to limit their use. Exposure to modern fires means higher cancer risks, said Representative Jeff Yarrick, Republican from Richmond. Consistent exposure to PFAS foam increases that risk. Michigan is one of the leading states on PFAS issues, especially as it relates to firefighting foams, said Representative Yarrick. The foam is no longer allowed for training or calibration of equipment, Yarrick said, but it's still needed to put out what are known as Class B fires, the kind that involve substances like gasoline, oil, and jet fuel. For reference, Representative Jeff Yarrick from Richmond is a former firefighter. The free collection and education program have cut down on unnecessary use, says Scott Dean from the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy's communications team. But disposal still has substantial costs for many communities, said Wixom Fire Chief Jeff Roberts, president of the Michigan Association of Fire Chiefs. Quote, sure, they take it away free of charge, but you lose the investment, and foam is not cheap to begin with, and close quote. The fire services are searching for alternatives, Representative Yarrick said. Dow Chemical in Midland is researching alternatives at this time. Meanwhile, firefighters report that the use of PFAS foams are reporting the use of PFAS foams to a Michigan pollution hotline. Quote, we use the reports to make sure cleanup is done, said Scott Dean. From the from Eagle, as it's known, and that is the site that's documented as a potential contaminated site. This full article from the Detroit News via the Capitol News Service is listed on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. We're going to take a quick break. We got a great show ahead of you today. Coming up next, I'll be joined by Jeanette Phillips, the Executive Director of Share Detroit, as we are just a day away from Giving Tuesday, and she'll tell us all the different ways that you can support the many charities and nonprofits that Share Detroit is supporting on their website as we approach Giving Tuesday, and we run through Giving Tuesday tomorrow. At 10:40, a board member of the Orion Area Parade Group, Bill Kokonos, will join me on the show. At 11 o'clock, Barb Giles from Jewish Senior Life will join me to give us some advice on how we can check in on our older and our senior members of our family and our friends as we go into the holiday season, as we have now passed, of course, Thanksgiving, but head into the Christmas and other holiday seasons in late November and through December and the end of the year. At 11:20, Stacy Zotkovich will join me, otherwise known as Stacy Renee, as she has started a new charitable venture collecting many different clothing items for men, women, boys, and girls, and will be going to Detroit to distribute them to the homeless and to other shelters. And she's going to tell us how you out there in the community can get involved and help her out. That's coming up at 11:20. Then at 11:40, Juniper Fleming, the director of Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter, will join me to talk about the no-kill shelter that over the past several years has saved over 1,500 dogs' lives with their shelter. That is all coming up next. You are watching and listening to the Megacast.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is the source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Motorcyclists are hard to see. To keep everyone safer, it's important to always look for them and know where most crashes occur. 84% of motorcycle and vehicle crashes happen on streets, not highways. And most crashes with motorcyclists occur when vehicle drivers are turning left. So before turning, especially to the left, make sure you look for motorcyclists. Then look again. It could save a life.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe here in our studios in West Bloomfield Township. Although we're always broadcasting live 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday, all across the state of Michigan on a number of different community television radio outlets in Oakland County and all across the state. On our website, civiccentertv.com, as well as on My Michigan TV or MyMy. You can learn more information about MyMy by visiting its website, mymytv.com, or just clicking through our link to My Michigan TV on civiccentertv.com/megacast. Well, tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, and on Giving Tuesday, you have a whole lot of different options here in southeastern Michigan and across the Great Lakes state to support a number of different charities and nonprofits. And if you're looking for the perfect nonprofit or charity or other organization or cause to support on this Giving Tuesday, there's a great resource that you can go to find the perfect one to support what you want to support this season, and that is Share Detroit. We're pleased to be joined once again by its executive director, Jeanette Phillips, on the Megacast. Jeanette, thanks for being with us again.
Hi, Tyler. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you back. So for those that are not familiar, what is Share Detroit, and how can it help people on this Giving Tuesday find that charity or that nonprofit or that other cause that they really want to support that can help people immediately here in our local area?
So sharedetroit.org is the URL, the website name, sharedetroit.org. And what we're an aggregator of nonprofits in Southeast Michigan, designed to make it easy for the community to find a nonprofit that resonates with their interests and their values. So right now we have 246 nonprofits on the site. They range from very large nonprofits that many have heard of, like Forgotten Harvest or Haven, Focus Hope, Belle Isle Conservancy, and also runs the gamut down to some of the smallest nonprofits in the area, excuse me, doing really great work. And those might include Mint Artists Guild, that does helps youth in Detroit paint and, get their artistic expression out. A Girl Like Me helps teen mothers in Oakland County, teen pregnancies, so that they keep their babies and have the diapers and clothing and supplies and support that a teen mom might need. No Resolve is a nonprofit in Macomb County that helps teens with mental health support. So you can find the gamut of nonprofits there at sharedetroit.org.
We're joined by Jeanette Phillips. She is the executive director of Share Detroit. Again, as she said, their website, sharedetroit.org, where you can discover now, currently, 246 different nonprofits supporting the Detroit area and 241 with volunteer opportunities, and choose from over 1,200 different items that you can buy through different Amazon wish lists through Share Detroit that will support these charities and nonprofits directly in some of their many needs during this holiday season and as we head into the 2022 new year. And so, Jeanette, one of the focuses of Share Detroit is shedding light on local nonprofits specifically. Why the emphasis on the local part of that in what you do for these organizations?
You know, there are so many people really who found a need or a hole, a gap in services right here in the Southeast Michigan area and started doing good work. They started to do good, as we say, do good. But those missions are very resonating. You know, they resonate well with people, and they do it in your backyard. So we, you know, are really hyper focused on making sure these local nonprofits are seen because they're smaller. They have small groups of followers. But if the general community of, you know, plus or minus 10 million people in Southeast Michigan could see them, imagine how much more work they could do. So we're just really hyper focused on making sure the community can see all nonprofits in a, you know, kind of more equal way. If you go to the website, you know, whether it's a large nonprofit like Forgotten Harvest that provides so much food support to one that's not so small, but a little smaller called Yad Ezra, also a food pantry for kosher food for those who eat kosher. You know, they're all right here, you know, whether it's food insecurity, helping youth, helping veterans, seniors, you name it. We've got causes and ways for people to kind of break down the list to figure out what might mean something to them.
Yeah, we've had Yad Ezra's executive director, now outgoing executive director, Leah Luger, on the show multiple times here on the Megacast. We've had her on our local news magazine, on our flagship on Civic Center TV, The Splash, before. It's a great organization. There's so many of those in our local area, but much like every nonprofit and every charity, whether it be local or national or worldwide, they've had a lot of struggles and pretty unique struggles because of the COVID-19 pandemic. For those locally centered charities and nonprofit, how specifically have the struggles of the COVID-19 pandemic affected them, maybe differently than those national or worldwide organizations?
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Good question. Good point. So again, the local charities really depend on local support, and you know, COVID hit all of us very hard, especially nonprofits, and they had to pivot quickly to support, to do more for their mission, their clients. But without, we had to cancel events. We've increased our expenses, increased the number of people we're supporting. And again, when you have a small following or a smaller base, money just doesn't come from the world, as you said, or the nation. It has to come from the community. So again, Share Detroit allows the community to find them in an easier way. So, I mean, COVID, there's a statistic I saw in the Wall Street Journal that 20% of nonprofits have a month or less of revenue in cash reserves. So again, the fact that these nonprofits have made it through the last almost 2 years, continuing to do the work that is so important to the community, is a huge testament to their grit and, I don't know, scrappiness. making sure that they're providing support to the people in need. Giving Tuesday is a great moment now for us, the community, to recognize that work and, give back, whether that's $5, $10, $50, $100. Maybe it's to one nonprofit or to 10. Use our platform to do a little research and figure out how you want to help.
We're joined by Jeanette Phillips. She is the Executive Director of Share Detroit. You can learn more information about Share Detroit by visiting their website at sharedetroit.org, as this is the final time over the course of the month of November that we will be joined by Share Detroit or a Share Detroit nonprofit, specifically leading up to Giving Tuesday. Currently, 246 different nonprofits supporting Detroit or the metro area on their website at sharedetroit.org, as well as volunteer opportunities and other shopping opportunities that can directly help these different organizations. And so many more have been added to the website since we last spoke to you at the beginning of November and in late October, Jeanette. And if I'm remembering correctly, around then it was just hovering a little bit over 200. Now it's about just under 250. What are some of the nonprofits or charities that have joined in on ShareDetroit.com since then that may be of interest to people as they're looking to give on Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, we've had so many. I have to find my email, but one is the Arc of Michigan is a new one that came in, and another one is the Art Experience, which provides quality art programs to build up the community for all ages. The Detroit Area Pre-College Engineering Program, DAPCEP, that's kind of a long one, DAPCEP maybe they call themselves, but they're trying to help underrepresented minority students focus on STEM careers, specifically engineering. So you can find just about any idea, any passion that you might have on the website. And can I just say, Tyler, some people may or may not want to donate money, and you touched on it a second ago, but many of them have Amazon wish lists. So if a community member goes to, there's one called Center for Success. I'm right here looking at their site. There's a button that says shop. So when you click the shop button, you will end up in the Center for Success's Amazon wish list through your Amazon account. You can make a decision on what to order, pay for it through your own account, but it ships directly to the nonprofit you choose. So it's another nice, easy way to give tomorrow on Giving Tuesday and throughout the holiday season, maybe with children or family members. Use our website to find wish lists through the shopping pillar and shop and send something meaningful and important to that nonprofit directly to them. It's so easy.
We're joined by Jeanette Phillips. She's the Executive Director of Share Detroit. Joining us on the Megacast, you can learn more information about Share Detroit as well as all the different charities and nonprofits that they're supporting this season and all throughout the year by going to their website at sharedetroit.org. Where you can, as Jeanette said, find those volunteer opportunities as well as donation opportunities as well, and other ways you can get involved with these charities and nonprofits. And so Giving Tuesday is tomorrow, Jeanette. And for those charities and nonprofits that maybe have not connected yet with Share Detroit, but want to have that extra resource out there for people to potentially be able to find them on a critical day for them going into the new year and heading out of the current year, is there still opportunity for different organizations to join in and get their information on your website ahead of Giving Tuesday or even just after?
Yeah, great point. Thank you so much. In the footer of every page of ShareDetroit.org is at the bottom left, it says, "Are you a nonprofit?" And there's a button that says apply. So I highly encourage any nonprofit listening, or some of the ones, Tyler, that you're going to talk to in the next couple of days who may not be on Share Detroit, to apply and get their page loaded. We have received over $16,000 from generous sponsors, including White Castle and Wireless Vision, who owns many of the T-Mobile stores across the city, a couple of anonymous donors, and a charity called We Are Third Act, a foundation, We Are Third Act. And so we'll be giving away, every Tuesday in December is Giving Tuesday for us, and we'll be giving away money to our nonprofits each Tuesday. So even those who are not yet on sharedetroit.org, get in and join in, and they may have a chance to win $1,000 each of 5 Tuesdays, starting tomorrow on Giving Tuesday, and then the 4 Tuesdays in December, we'll be giving back in that way. And again, we encourage the community to try to match those gifts by donating to charities and nonprofits that mean something to their values.
And again, if you are a charity or a nonprofit in the local area and you would like to have your information about your organization on Share Detroit's website at sharedetroit.org, just go to sharedetroit.org, very bottom of the page, bottom left. There is that section, as Jeanette said, are you a nonprofit? You'll click on apply, and there's a few different requirements, and I'll go through them for those that may be listening or watching. Those requirements, you have to have a 501c3 designation with a valid employment identification number, or EIN, serve Macomb, Oakland, or Wayne County in a significant capacity. You may not be a faith, community, school, or club, be in business for a minimum of 1 year since the date of incorporation, have a working website, and appoint someone as the primary point of contact for Share Detroit. You'll put all that information into a sign up, and then you'll click on Let's Get Started, and they'll get in contact with you from there. You'll have to create a password as well to log in to your information directly on their website, and that will begin the process. And again, that's all at sharedetroit.org, or if you want to click directly over to this page, the link would be sharedetroit.org/user/register. sharedetroit.org/user/register. And Jeanette, just another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. If there's anything else that is there anything else that we have not discussed today that would be important for our audience to consider as we head into Giving Tuesday, or anything else that you'd like to touch on?
Well, Tyler, I want to thank you and all your listeners for the opportunity this last month to showcase so many of our Share Detroit organizations. That, just the fact that you've allowed us to talk about the missions of various nonprofits that have been on the site, like Camp Casey or Alternatives for Girls, and talk about Share Detroit and how it helps them, I think has really been helpful to all of us, and hopefully to your viewers, to learn so much about it. And I guess finally, I would just again encourage everyone to visit sharedetroit.org, or just make a donation to a charity that means something to them. Share Detroit has so many, though, that need your help. And then also throughout the holiday season, so it just doesn't end on Giving Tuesday, right? Keep trying to give. There are tax implications. Some people, that really matters to them. Make a donation and support these nonprofits through December as much as you can. Again, donations are key right now, but the wish lists are important. We also have the volunteer opportunities you mentioned, and they all have events. Events are coming back. So all of that information can be found at sharedetroit.org, and we really hope your community, your followers will, use us as a resource and look around and find a nonprofit to support.
Again, you can find all that information about the nonprofits and charities that you can support, the currently 246 and counting that you can donate to, the over 200 that you can volunteer your time with, as well as over 1,000 different items that may be very helpful to these organizations heading into the end of the year, into the holiday season, and into the new year in 2022 on Share Detroit's website, sharedetroit.org. And then again, at the bottom left of the page, if you are operating a charity or a nonprofit under certain requirements that will be listed on their website, if you go to the bottom of the page, click on Apply, you can apply to have your charity or nonprofit organization's information listed on Share Detroit as well. Jeanette, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Happy holidays.
You as well. Again, sharedetroit.org for more information about how you can support these charities and nonprofits tomorrow on Giving Tuesday and throughout the year, 365 days a year in 2021 and in 2022 and forward as well by going to sharedetroit.org. We're going to take a break. On the other side, since 1989, the downtown streets of the village of Lake Orion have glowed with festive holiday lights the first Saturday of December, and that's going to happen once again this year. We'll be joined by a board member of the Orion Area Parade Group. Coming up next, you're watching and listening to the Megacast.
To Sofia and Gabriel, even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
72.7% of high school students get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. This can cause pain, obesity, and can very negatively affect your mental health. When you have a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you get sick less often, lose more weight, and have better relationships with those around you. For more information about the dangers of sleep deprivation, go to sleepfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes. They stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Neighborhood storm drains carry water directly to local creeks and streams. No filters, no treatment.
Storm drains also help reduce street flooding when it rains.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
It is easy to do your part by adopting a storm drain.
Find a storm drain, check it, and clear it every month.
So keep storm drains for rain only.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, alongside our studio producer and board operator, Calvin Brown, in our studio in West Bloomfield Township. Although we're broadcasting live and live to tape all throughout Oakland County on a number of different community television and radio stations, including in Lake Orion and Orion Township, live to tape at 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. on Orion Neighborhood Television. And joining us now is Bill Kokonos. He is a board member of the Orion Area Parade Group, joining us on the Megacast. Bill, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate this. This is something new to us, and we really are interested in being part of it.
So tell us a little bit about the Orion Area Parade Group and what you do to prepare the Christmas lighting parade down in Lake Orion.
Well, we started probably before my time, 1996, and maybe a little bit farther back. It was a small lighted parade, and we are now it's grown to be what we believe Michigan's biggest lighted Christmas parade, with about 125 participants in it. The parade itself is a big job. It's a, believe it or not, 12-month year job, trying to come up with ideas and themes. And I have a great committee that comes up with some great themes. Like this year's, it's Christmas in Toyland. We've had other great ones where it's been Frozen and some other ones. We try to keep it with the theme of what's going on with the kids. And we promote it all year, and we just keep it going, and it's been a huge success. It's a lot of fun to do, but we enjoy it.
So the Orion Lighted Christmas Parade, it's been a tradition in Lake Orion for 25 years. It's one of the largest lighted Christmas parades in all of the state of Michigan. What are the origins of the lighted Christmas parade? How did it begin, and what does it mean to the Lake Orion community and the surrounding area?
It started actually with the Orion Area Chamber. They started the parade group. They started our Veterans Memorial, and they started these groups within them, and it was just basically a small parade at the time. And it started getting bigger and bigger, and then probably, I want to say 2005, 2006, we started going bigger, and we got the community behind it, and it's become a thing of beauty. I don't really know the reason why it became a night parade. I haven't gotten anybody that's history with the parade to be able to tell me that what made it a night parade and not a regular day parade. And we encompass anybody and everybody from all over Oakland County, Macomb County, and even Lapeer County, where we've had participants from all over. We get a wide variety of different groups here. So that's basically the origin that I know of. I've only been with the group since I think 2006 or 2007. I still have one person on our board that is an original parade group member, Carl Syrowski. So we still have history, and we have the rest of my board is people with great enthusiasm. We believe that we are the kickoff to everybody in Orion's and surrounding communities. I want to say North Oakland County, their kickoff to their Christmas holidays, and we try to produce the best parade so that everybody starts out in a great mood.
We're joined by Bill Kokonos. He is the board member, a board member of the Orion Area Parade Group, joining us today on the Megacast. This parade group that has been organizing the Orion Area lighted Christmas parade for many years now, and this parade which began downtown in the streets of the village of Lake Orion back in 1989. The parade group also will be organizing, is also organizing the Holly Jolly Folly, which is set for Friday, December 3rd. That's this Friday at 6:30 at Galling Buick GMC in Lake Orion. Tell us a little bit about that event and what kind of fun people can expect to have at that event this Friday.
Well, that event is totally sponsored by Galling Buick GMC. Galling pays for everything so that the parade group gets all of the profits. It is a festive night. If you were at Galling's at 8 o'clock Friday morning and came back at 6:30, you would not think that you were actually in a car dealership. We take the service area and the mechanics area and we curtain it, we table it, we have everything there that you could imaginably want. Again, like I said, you wouldn't know you were in a mechanics area. This event is I call it a dinner dance with entertainment and also a silent auction. We also believe that we are the biggest one-night attended affair in North Oakland County. We average over 400 people a year at this event. It starts out at 6:30. Our meals are, we have appetizers and then dinner, which is provided by Italia Gardens. We have beer and wine all night for our guests. And we also have a cash bar as well. And this year we have a gentleman who does Queen, and he is absolutely fabulous. And then we have our house band at Gallings that will be there playing from 9 o'clock until whenever everybody's done wanting to dance. We have a huge silent auction, and if anybody's interested in donating, we still take donations for our silent auction. The silent auction, we get items from all over the country. We like to have unique things there, and we really work hard to make this a night, again, that kicks off a lot of people's Christmas holidays. The employees at Galling Buick GMC are all there to help with us setting up, tearing down. The office staff handles the silent auction, which makes it, which makes it a lot easier for us within the parade group because we're, hurrying to try to be there because the next morning we got to get up and prepare the roads and signs, putting signs up and getting our costume characters ready for the parade.
We're joined by Bill Kokonos. He is a board member with the Orion Area Parade Group, joining us on the Megacast. The Orion Area Parade Group also organizing the Holly Jolly Folly. That event, Friday, December 3rd, 6:30 p.m. at Galling Buick GMC in Lake Orion. It features live entertainment, beer and wine, a cash bar, silent auction catered by Italia Gardens, and tickets $50 per person or $480 for a table of 10. You can reserve your tickets today for that event happening on Friday at 6:30 p.m. And so back onto the lighted Christmas parade. How does that go? For those that aren't familiar with that, either are new to the Lake Orion and Orion area community or are new to Oakland County and may want to participate, how can they participate in the lighted parade coming up very soon?
They can go onto our website, which is www.orionlightedparade.com. And they'll see, it will say parade registration, and they can register there. We ask that they register because we have to change our parade a little bit this year. So we're trying not to take any type of floats or anything like that the night of the parade if they can possibly help. So we'd like them to register online. We have 2 drivers meetings, Tuesday the 30th and then December 2nd, Thursday at the Orion Library at 7 o'clock. they can come to those meetings and we can get you registered then. We'll have people there that can help you register, but the earlier you register, the better. And definitely, if you're going to register, please fill out the form, fill out your announcement. We like to keep them brief, but we don't like anybody going by our masters of ceremonies and not being able to announce where or who you are.
We're joined by Bill Kokonis. He is a board member of the Orion Area Parade Group, joining us today on the Megacast. Again, the Orion Lighted Christmas Parade returning on Saturday, December 4th at 6 p.m. in downtown Lake Orion, Friday at 6:30 p.m. at Gowling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, the Holly Jolly Folly, where you can get tickets $50 per person or $480 for a table of 10. Bill, just another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye. Anything else that our audience may want to know about Friday's event, the Holly Jolly Folly, or Saturday's event, the Lighted Christmas Parade in downtown Lake Orion?
For Friday, I would strongly suggest, if you're interested, sign up immediately. If you want a table, you can call me at 248-802-5521. Or if you're just buying for yourself and someone else, or a couple, or 2 or 3 couples, go online, hit Eventbrite. It will take you to the ticket area. All our tickets are being emailed to everybody. As far as the parade goes, if you're going to come down and see the parade, it starts at Florence, goes down Flint Street, Anderson Street to Broadway, in Front Street, and then Broadway and down Broadway. It is a huge, huge event, and we love to have people there. We normally have about, I would say 6,000 to 7,000 people watching the parade. So there's plenty of parking around. It'll be a little difficult to find it sometimes because all the restaurants are open, thank goodness. So, but we'd love to have you come down, see our parade. But if you have any questions at all, they can call me.
Well, Bill, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us and telling us about these 2 very fun events that will be happening in Lake Orion and the Orion area this coming weekend.
We appreciate you guys helping us out by advertising us. So thank you, and you guys all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You as well. Big thank you to you, Bill, and your entire team at the Orion Area Parade Group, as well as our friends over at Orion Neighborhood Television for bringing Bill on to today's edition of the show. Of course, if you are watching or listening live and you want to rewatch the interview, or you tuned in a little bit late and you're in the Orion area, you can rewatch this interview and all of our Megacast shows live to tape every day at 1 p.m. in the afternoon on Orion Neighborhood Television. That is on Channel 10 over there in Lake Orion. We're going to take a break here on your radio homes for the Megacast. 89.3 WBLD, Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield, Keagle Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and 88.1 WBFH, Bloomfield Hills. Coming up next after the break, we'll kick off the second hour with Barb Giles, the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives over at Jewish Senior Life. She'll give us a lot of tips about how we can best look out for many members of our family, but especially those older adults and those senior members of our family as we see them once again during this holiday season. What we should be considering after seeing them this past weekend for the Thanksgiving holiday, and what we should be looking for as we go into the December holidays and into the new year. That is all coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
We as Michiganders feel connected to this resource in a way that I think is really powerful.
Conservation starts with a caring, committed community.
For me, it's peaceful to have a relationship with the river.
Every single one of us has a role to make sure that those waterways stay safe and healthy, being careful about what goes down the storm drain.
Just even eliminating some of your single-use plastic makes a difference.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Did you know that nearly 3.31 million Americans don't get their annual checkup? Going to the doctor regularly is extremely important and is a crucial factor in maintaining good health. Make sure you are visiting your local doctor often and telling them about any health concerns you have. For more information, contact your local healthcare provider. This message is brought to you by WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Achoo! Joining us now is Barb Barb Giles. She is the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives at Jewish Senior Life to talk about how we can help our older adults and our seniors this holiday season as we visit with family and with friends over the Thanksgiving and the other holidays. Barb, thank you for being with us today. Appears you are muted. Just a moment.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Good to see you. Good to hear you. On Jewish Senior Life, they recently released a list of signs of need in parents and older adults. Some of the ways that we can, things we can look out for to see if our older adults and our seniors and our families and even our friends may be in need if we haven't seen them in a while and maybe their circumstances have changed in a way that we're unaware of. What are some of those key signs that families should be looking out for in their older family members and their senior family members?
So evaluating your loved one during the holiday season this year is particularly important because some of us haven't necessarily been in person with our loved ones since the last holiday season. So I think there are 5 key tips that individuals who are seeing their loved ones for the first time, 5 things that they can do to evaluate any changes that might have happened with an older adult since the last time they were together. So my first suggestion is that if this is someone who you feel is safe to come in physical contact with and that it's safe for both of you, that if you are able to greet each other with a hug, or if you're not having physical contact because of your COVID concerns, to look for changes in physical appearance. Weight loss is indicative of a whole many variety of things that could be happening behind the scenes for older adults. Weight loss can happen because of financial concerns, that people are not spending money on groceries. They could have social reasons that they're not going to get groceries, especially now. Maybe they're even having difficulty cooking. So when you see somebody and you can even feel them when you're able to hug them, that is certainly a sign. Also, when you're able to look for changes in appearance, decreased mobility is a huge indicator that perhaps something is going on and a visit to the doctor is warranted. Also, unkempt or mismatched or unclean clothes, another good sign. These are just signs that something has happened under changes in appearance. The second tip I can give is take time to sit and listen and notice possible changes in personality. Are they asking the same questions over and over again? Are they getting not able to follow basic directions that perhaps you've given them? Or are they getting confused at times to people, places, and things? This is another sign that something may have changed for your loved one. A third way you can evaluate your loved one is to ask about their friends. You can talk to them about their social life. Right now, it's sort of hard to gauge someone's social life because of ways we are changing things because of COVID. But if you notice there's a lack of interest in things that they were previously interested, another sign that maybe there's a change. The fourth tip, and really almost one of my favorite tips, is to act like a nosy neighbor and look for changes in the home. This is a huge indicator that something has changed for an older adult. Is there more clutter than there used to be? If you rifle through their mail, are they not paying attention to their bills? If you open the refrigerator, this is another sign, a great indicator of expired food, spilled food, things that look yucky, that you don't think that they're not paying close enough attention to things. Are there multiples of the same item? Every time they go to the grocery store, are they buying the same thing over and over again that they're not remembering that they might have already bought it? Another sign of in the nosy neighbor is that you can look for signs if there's been a small house fire that maybe you didn't know of. Are there burns on the knobs or pot bottoms of some of the pots and pans? Or the other telltale sign is burnt pot holders with burnt edges, another sign that perhaps something has happened. Now, we all have small fires. Believe me, if you check my house, some of my pot holders look like that too. But these are all signs that maybe are building up towards something altogether. Also, what do their pets and houseplants look like? Are they remembering to water their plants? Are they remembering that to take care of other things? These are all great signs. And my fifth tip for evaluating your loved one during the holiday season is to take a walk or go for a ride with the older adult. Do you notice any new nicks or dents in the car since you last rode with them? Maybe they're getting in accidents and you don't know. Are they remembering to fasten their seatbelt when they get in the car? When you turn on the car, are you notice that some of the warning lights have been on and you're getting a low pressure sign that perhaps has been there for a while? Are they tailgating? If you feel it's safe to ride, are they tailgating? Do they follow the speed limit? And are they having any trouble confusing brake and gas? If not, you can go for a walk with them also and check their balance. Are they steady walking? Do they shuffle when they walk? All of these are possible changes. So those are my 5 tips for evaluating your loved one in the holiday season.
We're joined by Barb Giles. She is the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives at Jewish Senior Life, joining us today on the Megacast. And so, Barb, if you are noticing those signs and you have some concerns, what are the next steps that should be taken after you've identified some of these concerns to either address them with your loved one or even take action if they're severe enough?
The first action to take is always to evaluate your loved one medically. Take them to the doctor. You don't know when the last time perhaps they might have gone to the doctor is, or even something as simple like a urinary tract infection for an older adult can cause great confusion that is very temporary. And after a couple of doses of antibiotics, someone's back on their feet again and not showing that same confusion. So the first thing to do is to always have your loved one evaluated by a medical practitioner. Once that's happened, perhaps that person can give you more guidance if it is time to consider changes or if other options or supports are needed in the home. These are always great ways as your physician to really help be your guide as to what's going on and what other steps might need to be taken.
We're joined by Barb Giles. She's the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives with Jewish Senior Life, joining us today on the Megacast. And so, as we are in the holiday season, and we are going to have gatherings of families during the Thanksgiving holiday, over Thanksgiving weekend, and certainly in the holidays in December as well. Having those evaluations is one thing. It's important, but also it's important to create an environment that is welcoming and that is safe all across the board for our seniors and for our older adults as well. Having those big family gatherings, they can be noisy, they can be compact, and that can be stressful for a lot of people, especially our older adults and seniors. What advice do you have for families to help to mitigate that situation this holiday season?
If you're noticing your loved one is becoming overwhelmed with the amount of people, especially after the isolation we've all had, social isolation because of COVID, really simple strategies like taking the older adult to a room with fewer people. There's always one room, maybe the den or the living room, where fewer people are gathered and maybe the television isn't on, where you're limiting some of that outside noise and where you're able to make some changes for the person, because being overwhelmed is very anxiety provoking. So the easiest tip would be to take the person into an area of a lot less people congestion, where I still should remind everyone, we all want to be very careful with the climbing COVID numbers. So even please use great caution while you're with your loved ones over the holidays. And I believe our Oakland County is even advising masks being worn inside for family gatherings. So you might want to make some other changes depending on how large your group is that can help the person.
We're joined by Barb Giles from Jewish Senior Life. She is their Director of Strategic Initiatives with us today on the Megacast. And in terms of COVID-19 precautions that should be taken, what are the immediate factors that should be put into consideration before either inviting older adults and seniors in your family to these family gatherings or inviting others to these gatherings that may include these individuals?
So Michigan Department of Health and Human Services #1 suggestion is vaccination. Vaccination is critical in helping us to control the COVID-19. After that, certainly good practices include frequent hand washing, disinfection and cleaning of high-touch surface areas. Masking, even while you're indoors, is currently recommended. All of the good COVID-19 practices, covering your mouth and nose if you're sneezing, all of those good practices that we've been following, good hand washing, I would stress the importance of making sure we're doing all of those things while we're visiting with our loved ones.
We're joined by Barb Giles, joining us today on the Megacast. She is the Director of Strategic Initiatives with the Jewish Senior Life. And during the season also, we got to think about our caregivers as well, because they've been with our older adults, with our seniors throughout this entire pandemic. It's been a challenging year and a challenging process for them through all of this as well. What further considerations should we be taking at the familial level for our caregivers also during this time?
Right. So caregiver burnout is a huge factor to consider. Almost 72% of family caregivers report not going to the doctor as often as they should for themselves. And 55% say they completely skip their own doctor's appointments. So taking care of yourself is critical in order to take care of your loved ones. It is really critical. Caregiver burnout is a real thing. And for those of you who have been taking care of somebody you love, especially during this pandemic, it's really critical that you are taking care of yourself. Some signs that you should be looking for that you're suffering from caregiver burnout is, do you have a lack of energy? Are you sensing an overwhelming sense of fatigue? Are you having sleep problems? Are you feeling like caregiving is controlling your life? Are you struggling with anxiety, depression, inability to concentrate? If you are not able to be the foundation to take care of the person that you're taking care of, your whole situation will crumble. You have to have the strong foundation. So at Jewish Senior Life, some of the things that we recommend is it is critical for caregivers to ask for help. You are not a failure if you need help. So let other people know that you need their help and support, and give yourself permission to take breaks. And if it's not safe for you to take a break, maybe there are other things you can consider, like an adult day program, like we have at Jewish Senior Life at our Brown Adult Day program, that if you need a few hours of respite, excuse me, there are programs to help you so that you can get the care and do some of the things that you need. How about just waking up 15 minutes earlier to spend some time for yourself, where maybe you can journal, where maybe you can meditate, and you can have some time. Maybe it would be helpful for you as a caregiver to make a list of what you need to accomplish during the day so that you can make sure your needs are being met. I'm just going to grab a drink of water so that I don't choke to death.
Okay, yeah, I will then reset. We're joined by Barb Giles. She is the Director of Strategic Initiatives with Jewish Senior Life, joining us today on the Megacast, talking about what we can look out for in our seniors and our older adults and our caregivers this holiday season. And so, Barbara, as we do our evaluations of our family members, of our caregivers, particularly of our older adults and seniors, one of the toughest things that a family can do is reach the point where they realize they need to make some changes in the lives of their loved one, and they need to make those changes themselves without without it being necessarily being the direct decision of that loved one. What advice do you have for the families that may be going through that pretty common struggle this holiday season after they've done their evaluations?
So one, there are professionals to help you. If you're making the decision that the current situation needs to change somehow, not necessarily for the person to move, but to change somehow, there are wonderful professionals in our community. Here at Jewish Senior Life, we have our own frontline resource by calling 248-661-1836. And our person who answers our telephone, Tracy Perkovnik, can help guide you. And there are navigators like that all over. And at places like Jewish Senior Life, we welcome people of all beliefs, faiths, nationalities to call us because we will help guide you. And there are other wonderful resources in our community of case managers and other practitioners who make it part of their business to help people find more support when a time has come to make a change. Maybe the change is simple. Maybe the person just needs home care services coming into their home. Maybe the person just needs 4 hours of somebody coming in and helping with some light tasks. Maybe the person needs physical therapy services coming into the home. Maybe you're deciding it's time to leave the home, and there are choices like independent living communities that offer supports. There are assisted living communities that offer tremendous supports. So there are resources, and people often make dramatic thoughts that they have to make some kind of radical change, when sometimes just by building in enough supports, you can make the change, or by moving someone to an independent living community that offers enrichments, you can build enough support up to help that person move forward with just a small change in their environment. So it's always not the most dramatic thing, but there are professionals to help everyone.
We're joined by Barb Giles. She's the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives with Jewish Senior Life, joining us today on the Megacast. Barb, just another few minutes with you today before we'll say goodbye. Any lasting advice or other considerations that should be made by families or individuals this holiday season regarding their older adults, seniors in their life, or caregivers?
One, please know everyone needs help, and there are wonderful places that are here to help all of you. This time of year is tremendously difficult, and I think this year maybe even more so than most, that the challenges and things that we will encounter after not being together for so long will really start to that you'll start to see maybe different pictures. So don't get overwhelmed. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself as the caregiver. Make sure that you're evaluating the people who need evaluating, and call for help, because we're here to help you.
Well, Barb, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us and giving these families some needed advice and guidance on how they can help their loved ones as we head into this holiday weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
People are getting out to walk and bike in higher numbers. More vulnerable road users and higher speed traffic can be a dangerous combination. Crash severity has increased, so if you're driving, be sure to slow down and look for people. There's no need to speed. If you're biking, ride with traffic. If you're walking, avoid stepping into the road if possible. If you have to walk in the street, walk facing traffic. Learn more at walkbikedrivesafe.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
211, how can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Parents do a lot of worrying. Get your kids caught up on childhood vaccines to protect them from these 14 preventable diseases, and you'll have 14 fewer things to worry about. Vaccines are safe and effective and save lives. So let's get caught up on vaccines and worry about something else. Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Most of the pollution that goes into our rivers is carried by rainwater that flows off of roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
The leaves and bark of a single tree can retain a surprising amount of rainwater. Depending on its size and species, it could be 100 gallons or more.
It is estimated that an urban forest can reduce annual runoff by up to 7%.
Here's one thing that we know can help keep our water clean.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
One of the things you can look for in your friends is a change in behavior.
These can be big changes, they can be small changes in mood, physical appearance.
They may be sleeping less or sleeping more, drinking more, or their eating patterns may be different.
One big change that can be pretty obvious is change in motivation. Do they no longer want to play basketball? Do they no longer want to play video games?
Now that we're spending more time online and in virtual settings, it's really important to pay attention to the language that your friend is using and the words they're using to communicate.
So when we text our friends, are they taking longer amounts of time to respond? Are they not responding at all? You don't have to be an expert to try to recognize these signs. The second that you feel it in your gut and that you're concerned, that's the second to have the conversation and open the door to what might be going on.
Today, it is easier than ever to join Michigan's Organ Donor Registry and help build a bridge of hope for organ, tissue, and eye donation. Just one person can potentially save or help improve the lives of up to 75 people. By joining, your legacy could be the gift of life. Sign up today at michigan.gov/SOS or at any of the more than 145 Secretary of State self-service stations located across Michigan. Be part of Michigan's Bridge of Hope by adding your name to the Organ Donor Registry.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Kieft here in our studios in West Bloomfield Township. Although we're broadcasting all throughout the state of Michigan on many different TV, radio, and web outlets. Learn more information by going to our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast, clicking on any of the links to our partnering stations to learn more about everything that they do all throughout southeastern Michigan and across the state of Michigan. And also find all of our full episodes and interviews on demand, civiccentertv.com/megacast. Joining us now is Stacy Zotkovich, otherwise known as Stacy Renee. She's a motivational strategy speaker and a mindset life coach. And during this season, she'll be collecting new and gently used coats, gloves, mittens, boots, socks, and scarves for men, women, boys, and girls. And then we'll be going to Detroit this weekend to distribute them to the homeless as well as to many shelters. Stacy, thank you for being with us today.
Great to be here. Thanks so much for the great intro, and I definitely nailed it.
Yeah, so that's what you're doing. You're collecting new and gently used clothing items and winter attire to help people out this season as we're getting into the thick of the winter season, or getting out of the fall and heading into the thick of the winter season after first big snow of the year over the past weekend. No better time than now to start this drive. So what prompted you specifically to make this effort, and what help are you looking for out in the community here in southeastern Michigan?
Well, thanks. There's a couple reasons that this all came about. One, from a past interview that I did, we talked about all the things that you have in your possession and how we really don't need as many things as we thought we needed. And so after my mom passed, I really realized that I need to kind of clean house. So that was a big breakthrough for me, knowing that I didn't need all the things that I had, especially clothing. And then the second reason is I have a friend, Sia Kupfer, and she sent me a message about, hey, they're going to be doing this clothing drive. Times are tough, which of course they are now more than ever. And if you have any things to donate, please consider giving them, to this great cause. And just, sometimes we just need that little extra push. And with the snow that just came, I'm sure everyone is scrambling to get what they have and, see what they have, what they don't have. And people are going to be going out and buying new things because we all grow, whether it's the COVID wave, whether you have small children and they're growing up and getting older. It's just kind of time to what's in your closet, what don't you need anymore, what no longer serves you. So that's kind of how it all came about. So we contacted a bunch of our friends. I've gotten numerous texts and messages saying that, hey, I have a lot of things that are just sitting around here, and it's been really well received so far.
We're joined by Stacy Zatkovich on the Megacast, joining us as she is looking to collect gently used clothing items, particularly winter clothing items that she will then take into Detroit to the homeless as well as to shelters during the season. So you're looking to go down there on Saturday this week to distribute.
Actually, we did change the date.
Okay.
It is now going to be December 19th because we found that some people needed more time to collect items, and then working with sports schedules and school and holiday events, we thought Sunday would be the best, and it seemed to work out best with the shelters as well.
Okay, so December 19th, that will be the distribution day. You will go down to Detroit to many of the homeless individuals that will be in Detroit, as well as to many of the shelters as well, to distribute these goods. What are some of the different places in Detroit that you will plan on going? And how can people get involved in this with you, both before and on the distribution day as well?
Sure. So there's a couple of homeless shelters that Sia has been contacting and had communication with. And then we are going to get together, sort everything out, get it all organized. And if you think about it, is your closet packed with stuff that's destined for the donation bin? And here's a couple things to think about. Most of us barely even wear the stuff that we have. And of course, we're going to buy more things, and we all like new things, but what are you going to do with your old stuff? In fact, here's an interesting fact. About 70 new garments are bought every single year for one household family that has about 5 people in it. So if you think about that, 70 new items, it's almost, a new clothing item every single year, like every day. It's crazy to think about it that way. So donating your old clothes to charity might make you feel better, and then, and you're not putting them in the trash. But here's the thing I want you guys to think about. When you donate them, I found this out that sometimes they don't really go to where you think they go. So there's something called the clothing, what is it called? The clothing defect meth. And what happens is a lot of the things that you donate to the clothing go to the charity, but they're actually going to someone else in need, but they don't all go there. And sometimes they end up actually in the garbage, because who needs your old college sweatpants, right? I mean, people still have some respectability that they want. So every year, 25 billion textiles end up in North American landfills. Yep, that's clothing. And here are some reasons why. Because we're buying 400 more clothing things than we did in 1980. stores are rapidly trying to restock, especially now more than ever, because they always want to bring out the latest and greatest for the clothing, right? Mm-hmm. So experts say that we are constantly in a fast fashion and where we can actually buy things for less than what we used to be able to. And those buying habits lead to millions of unwanted clothing. So charities are either selling or giving away what they can not use anymore. And then there's actually a middleman, which I didn't know about until I did some research. There's a middleman, and it's a company that you've probably never heard of. And they go into these warehouses that's actually like football-sized fields of clothing, and it's all out there. They sort them and they distribute them to the unwanted clothes. So the middleman actually takes the clothing and develops it. And actually, Canada's biggest country that they donated to was Kenya. And then that secondhand clothing goes to like wherever you don't, just wherever. And so one thing that we forget is a lot of times your clothes, like I said, go into the trash, which is not a good thing. So think about it. Would you rather donate your clothes to somebody who is actually going to do something and actually take them down to a specific area that you know, or just put them into the big bins that you see, have them sorted or resell? And those people who really need clothes, it's harder for them to go in and buy. If you think about it, right?
Yeah.
So we want to kind of take that sting out for people, make it easy. It's just something that we're doing in our local area, and just to try and help people out, because it does feel good to help them, to bring some joy into them. And right now we could all use a little bit of extra joy.
We're joined by Stacy Zatkovich, joining us on the Megacast. Her effort to collect new and gently used clothing items, especially those winter items like coats, gloves, mittens, boots, socks, and scarves for men, women, boys, and girls. And then she'll be just distributing that and her team of people December 19th in Detroit to the homeless, as well as to many shelters. So, Stacy, leading up to December 19th, to that distribution day, just how many items or how many people are you hoping to get involved in this? And then on the distribution day, how many people do you believe that you're going to need to help distribute all these different clothing items to the homeless in Detroit, as well as to these shelters?
Well, we've gathered quite a crew already from our own neighborhoods, and we are doing caravans of items. I know my whole family, including my husband, my daughter and son, and myself, are going to be going down. And I know that her family, and then of course a whole slew of our other friends, are going to go down, because not only is it nice to physically take the clothing items to homeless shelters and people in need, but it's also good for children to see that people are in need, and the importance of giving back, and how something is so important as a pair of jeans or a warm sweater or a coat and gloves that they can just go to their bins and they just put it on like they don't ever have a need. And it kind of gives them a different perspective and makes them appreciate more. And I know that Sia said that, when she did this before, that they actually adopted a family and they took the items to the family's house, and they didn't even have a Christmas tree. And her boys went home and actually rounded all the toys up that they're like, you know what, I don't need this. They need it more. And they actually went back to that house and took them more items, because the boys really realized that they had it pretty good. And I think that today I'd like to show, I know my family, my children, that you have to work hard, but you also have to give. And to give makes you feel really good, and to be able to take these items that no longer fits them or they don't have a use for other people's, what is that saying, Tyler? Is other people's treasure, or what is it? Other people's, your junk is other people's treasures. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So we're going to do caravans and just take it down and really have them see what we can do.
We're joined by Stacy Zatkovich. She is a motivational strategy speaker and mindset life coach, joining us on the Megacast, also putting together an effort community-wide here in southeastern Michigan to collect new and gently used coats, gloves, boots, socks, gloves, mittens, and other winter attire for men, women, boys, and girls, and will help to distribute them in Detroit to the homeless as well as to shelters. That will be happening on December 19th, and the collection is now ongoing. And so, Stacy, if people want to get involved with your efforts here in the greater West Bloomfield community and Oakland County and here in southeastern Michigan, in the suburbs of Detroit or even in the city of Detroit, how can I get in contact with you best in order to get involved with this effort and join you on December 19th for distribution?
Sure. You can contact me if you'd like. Sia and I and some other people have no problems coming and picking it up from your doorstep. That would be the easiest thing. Just put it out. And you can contact or to send a text message to our phone number, 248-660-0464. Again, 248-660-0464. You can also email at Stacie, Stacie, Zot, Z-O-T, at yahoo.com. And it's just, again, we want to make it easy for you. If you'd like to get involved, feel free to contact us and we can definitely pull you in and like to have you involved. I also had some people ask if they could just drop it off at their chamber office. And I said, absolutely. I'm involved with the Lakes Area Chamber, as well as the West Bloomfield Chamber. And I don't think that they would have any problem getting these donations and then contacting me, and I can easily swing by and pick it up.
And again, that phone number for those that want to get involved either in the distribution, in the collection, or both, 248-660-0464. That's 248-660-0464. Or emailing Stacie, Stacie, Zot, Z-O-T, at yahoo.com. That's Stacie, Stacie, Z-O-T, at yahoo.com. Stacy, just another couple minutes with you. Anything else today that you'd like to say on this effort or other things that we should know before we say goodbye today?
I just think that if everyone can find a couple of things, it would really make you feel like you're contributing, giving back. And when you do that, it just makes your holidays even better. And I think that's why I was so grateful for her to contact me and ask for our family as well as our friends' families to get involved. It's a satisfying feeling. And I know that I did this with the Girls on the Run a couple of years ago, and we actually did backpacks for the homeless. And we collected a bunch of items. We took them down. Socks are a huge thing because in the wintertime, their feet get really cold. They get wet. You can see my little cat's tail.
Oh. Yeah.
And keeping your feet warm and dry is an essential part, and and having your hands dry too. So if you have anything to donate, we would be really happy to be able to pass those on and help somebody else. You never know what somebody's struggle is, and those who don't want to ask for help sometimes need it the most. And if you also know somebody who could use a little pick-me-up, please let us know. I would love to put something together, drop it off on their doorstep. They don't have to know who it came from. I think that's definitely something else that we need to think about too. So we just have all these great ideas and we just want to give back and make people feel really, really good. So go clean your closets out, see what you have. A phone call away is not going to hurt you. Text me your address. We will swing by, pick it up, and we will have somebody else have a most wonderful day.
And again, if you want to join in on this effort with Stacy and with others on her team here in the local area, 248-660-0464 and Stacie Zot at yahoo.com, STACIEZOT at yahoo.com. And again, that phone number, 248-660-0464. Stacy, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Everyone have an awesome and successful holiday, and go clean your closets.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Stacy. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we will head to Detroit with Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter Director Juniper Fleming, who will join us next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council,
we work together to protect water resources for everyone.
Most of the pollution entering our rivers is carried by rainwater that runs off roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
A rain garden helps catch stormwater runoff.
Rain gardens and their plants help dirty runoff soak into the ground.
You can do your part to help keep our water clean.
Learn about rain gardens and native plants.
So consider a rain garden in your home landscaping.
Catch the runoff with a rain garden.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
I couldn't breathe at all. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was 39 weeks pregnant and had a scheduled C-section. During that time, I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. I was really scared. I kept texting my husband and my mom, telling them how scared I was, and I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. And then I was worried if, when I did get home, that he wouldn't know who I was. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary, and if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not? Get your vaccine. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
A message from the staff of Michigan's Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Anyone can be a victim of crime
and suffer lasting trauma, physically, emotionally, and financially.
But you are not alone.
If you're struggling financially due to a crime,
we're here
for you.
Find out if you qualify for crime victim compensation.
Call 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crime-victim.
A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Victim Services.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike? And you did. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners, working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is a source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe here in our studios in West Bloomfield Township, although we're broadcasting all throughout the local area on a number of different television, radio, and other media outlets. Learn more information by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Joining us now is Juniper Fleming, the director of Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter, with us on the Megacast. It is a no-kill rescue collective based in the heart of Detroit, Michigan. Juniper, thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So tell us a little bit about Rebel Dogs Detroit and why did you find this organization?
Okay, so we have been around for almost 4 years now. We started in 2018, and we started as a collective that became a nonprofit because we were Detroiters that saw that there was an epidemic of stray, neglected, and abandoned dogs in the city of Detroit, and there just wasn't an infrastructure of support governmentally or any kind of local efforts that were able to tackle the grandness and the vastness of this issue. So we got together in hopes to try to bite off a chunk of that and help create a support network to try to do what needed to be done for these dogs.
So what sets Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter apart from other shelters or other rescues and the efforts that they're doing to either rescue animals or rehome animals such as dogs in the Detroit area and in the local area surrounding it?
Yeah, so when we started, we felt like one of the huge tenets that we wanted to create and work from was a pride of Detroit. We want Detroiters to be a part of the solution. We don't see Detroit as this huge sinking issue for animals. We actually see tons of community members who want change, who want the animals to have support and safety, but they don't know how to get it done. So Detroiters being a part of the solution for us is huge. And then additionally, we work from a place of understanding that dogs are animals, and a lot of these dogs that we're catching have lived as strays for long periods of time. So seeing our commitment to these dogs as more of a long-term one. We are a foster-based organization right now, and we have been for 4 years. Despite that, we've been able to save upwards of 1,500 dogs and adopt them out in those 4 years. But there's some dogs that are in our care that won't be leaving anytime soon, maybe ever. And that's part of our no-kill ethics, and that's part of the belief that we see these creatures as needing rehabilitation, re-socialization, but that their lives are still worthwhile. So those are kind of the frameworks that we think help us stand out and hopefully allow us to do the good work that needs to be done for these dogs.
We're joined by Juniper Fleming, the director of Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter, joining us today on the Megacast. And so, for a no-kill shelter like yours, different from other rescues or other shelters that maybe don't follow the no-kill format, what additional challenges does that bring to an organization like yours that's trying to not only protect these animals and rescue these animals, but also in many cases, as you said, rehome these animals also?
Mm-hmm. So us opening the shelter is going to enable us to work from a totally different format than we've been working. We currently have to figure out people's skill sets as fosters, and a lot of times that means that our core team are taking on the more difficult dogs, allowing us to work from a shelter format, which we'll be able to do hopefully by the end of this year, which is right around the corner, will enable us to bring dogs who need extensive training, extensive resocialization into a facility where they can have trainers come to them, have a routine schedule that we're able to build around their needs. So it will really take us to a different place than we've been before, which we're really excited about. We feel like we have the passion for it and we can do right by these dogs. So we're really looking forward to taking the mission that we've had for the past 4 years and bringing it to a place where we have a greater capacity for care than we have before.
So, as you mentioned, you're looking to build a shelter, a physical shelter on a former illegal dumping ground. How did you find that location, and why is that location an ideal spot for your shelter?
Absolutely. Good question. So, when we started the endeavor of attempting to open up a shelter in Detroit, we quickly figured out that we wanted to get this up and running as fast as possible. The need is immediate. There's dogs running astray in the streets of Detroit right now, and if we don't start saving them at rapid speed, they're going to freeze over the winter. You know, they've already started. And so when we started trying to look at, well, how can we get this shelter built as quickly as possible to address the needs of the city as quickly as possible, zoning was a big one. Industrially zoned land is what we need to build a shelter on without having to go through some kind of zoning exemption application, which could take years, especially during the pandemic situation. So zoning was one of the big things. Industrially zoned land is really hard to come by right now in Detroit. I believe that's partially due to the cannabis industry being such a big thing. So we finally were able to find industrially zoned land through the land bank, the Detroit Land Bank. And we worked with them over a series of, they didn't even have a price for the property. It wasn't something they were currently trying to sell, but we worked with them for a couple months and got them to come up with a figure that we could work with. And then we started the huge undertaking of clearing the property. It's about 1.5 acres of land, and it was just completely covered in dumped material from decades of dumping. And that was quite a big undertaking that we didn't even fully, I think both our contractors and us didn't fully understand what the undertaking was going to look like until we started. And that's part of why we're trying to fundraise right now. We're at the tail end. We've ordered prefabricated kennel buildings that are going to be delivered actually in a matter of a week. We're pouring foundation. We've cleared the land, which took tens and tens of thousands of dollars just to clear the land. Now we're pouring the foundations, and these prefabricated buildings are going to be delivered completely suited up for beginning to house dogs. And we need an operational budget. Unfortunately, our construction costs went over, and we've dug into our operational budget in order to finish this project. And that's what we're looking at now is trying to do some last minute fundraising so that we feel like we can comfortably and responsibly open our doors at the end of this year for dogs.
We're joined by Juniper Fleming, the director of Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter, with us on the Megacast. And so financially, what has it taken already, and what more is it going to take in order to complete this shelter in the best way possible so that Rebel Dogs Detroit is able to best serve the animals that it is rescuing?
Yeah. So with purchasing the land, clearing and preparing the land, and sorry,
that's okay.
Sorry about that. Stop. No.
Oh, no. Just joining in on the fun.
Sorry. All right. All right. So with all of that entailed with the property, the clearing, the prepping, and the building purchases themselves, we're looking at about $3,500 or $350,000. And we comfortably need about $25,000 more to open our doors. So we've begun fundraising for that. Giving Tuesday is actually tomorrow. So we're excited to see how our fundraising efforts go, both on Facebook and on our website, rebeldogsdetroit.com. We have some special donors that will be matching donations. So hopefully we can get that operation budget put together.
We're joined by Juniper Fleming, the director of Rebel Dogs Detroit Shelter, joining us today on the Megacast. How can those out in the community, in the Detroit area, outside the Detroit area, across the state of Michigan that may be tuning in, how can they best help the organization in these efforts?
Yeah, so if you're interested in donating to us opening this facility by the end of the year, what you can do is go to rebeldogsdetroit.com and click on the donate button on the top right-hand corner, or you can go to rebeldogsdetroit.com/donate. And there's a few different donation pathways listed there. Alternatively, you could go to our Facebook, Rebel Dogs Detroit, or our Instagram, Rebel Dogs Detroit. Facebook will be matching donations tomorrow for Giving Tuesday. It's an annual nonprofit giving day where they match donations. So that would be a great way to make your donation count double. But yeah, those are two different ways that people can donate.
So then, Juniper, just another 30 seconds with you before we'll say goodbye today. As people are going into the holidays and they're considering adopting a pet, adopting a dog this season, why should they adopt from a shelter as opposed to a pet shop or a pet breeder?
Absolutely. So there is a huge crisis of overpopulation of animals, and accidental and overbreeding is a very real issue. There's so many dogs that need loving and supportive homes, and opening your home and your heart to either a foster dog, which is a great way to help a dog without it being a long-term commitment, or adopting a dog. You're going to be potentially saving not just one life, but another life when you open up that spot for another dog to be saved off the street. So it really is the gift that keeps giving. And you'll very likely find that you're going to be having a dog that has such gratitude for finding a loving, safe home and environment. The best dogs are rescue dogs because they know what it's like to not feel safe. And when they find safety, they're so grateful.
Well, Juniper, we thank you very much for joining us and telling us more about your shelter.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Again, rebeldogsdetroit.com, or search for Rebel Dogs Detroit on Facebook and Instagram. Again, as Juniper said, tomorrow on Giving Tuesday, Facebook will be matching donations to organizations such as Rebel Dogs Detroit. So go to their Facebook page at Rebel Dogs Detroit. We're going to thank you all for joining us today, as is it for today's edition of the Megacast. Big thank you to all of our guests for joining us on the show, as well as our crew for operating the show each and every day, including on today's show. You can find us for replays on demand on our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast, as well as learn more information about all the different places that we broadcast throughout the local area here in Oakland County, where we originate our broadcast, and across the Great Lakes State, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Want to also, once again, point you to our coronavirus-specific webpage at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, where you can get links to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Oakland County Health Division's COVID-19 specific web pages, so you can learn more information about COVID-19, how it's affecting your local community, and how you can protect yourself and others around you from COVID-19 each and every day as we continue through this surge of COVID-19 here in Michigan. On Civic Center TV, more great original programming is coming up next over on My Michigan TV. It is Steve Leto Live, and we'll return tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with more of the Megacast.